How do you write music down? Well, there, I just did it. Music. Our system of writing down words using symbols to represent sounds is quite amazing. I can write down a word like symbols, send it to the other side of the planet, and someone can figure out what that word is. There might be slight variations, symbols, which would give us a different accent, but the meaning would be understood. But writing out music is a bit more complicated. Let's say I wanted to write down the musical phrase, la la, la 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 la. Someone reading this would know to say the word la over and over again. I can even space out the words so that the reader has an idea of the direction of the melody. But if I were to send this around the world, the person would not be able to recreate the music as it was in my head. There could be all sorts of variations. La, 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 la. What I need is a method of writing down the exact pitch of every note. And I want to be able to place those notes at the exact right time. To solve this problem, a system was developed over hundreds of years to write down notes on staff lines, a type of musical graph. In fact, this is a piece of staff paper. So let's figure out how to put symbols down on this musical staff and write down this melody that's in my head so that someone can understand it even on the other side of the world. And let's begin with how to write down pitch. Now, it's probably not surprising that low-pitch sounds can be found at the bottom of the staff, and higher-pitch sounds are up higher, and the staff lines can be used like a staircase. To draw a note, you do not want to make a perfect circle, but you want to make an oval that's sort of leaning forward to keep the eye moving. You can place notes on the spaces or the lines. This gives us a range of 11 notes that can be placed directly on the staff. Then you have access to notes above and below the staff by drawing ledger lines. So really it's 11 notes plus some. But a modern piano has 88 keys. Do we use the same staff line for a flute as we do for a tuba? And then there's vocal ranges. Is the staff built for the soprano, the alto, the tenor, or the bass? What range do we pick? And you can only go so far until you get unintelligible ledger lines. To solve this, a symbol called a clef is placed at the beginning, which assigns a note name to one of the staff lines. Clefs come in a few different flavors. We have the C clef, where the symbol was fancified until you had two bumps surrounding a specific line. That line on the staff becomes the note C. More common is the F clef. Again, the symbol was fancified until you have these two dots surrounding a line that becomes the note F. This clef is more commonly called a bass clef. Most common of all, we have the G clef, which if you look closely spirals around a line which becomes the note G. It is also known as a treble clef. So now we have all the tools we need to place notes within the range of any instrument or instrument group, and I can place all the correct notes for my song. La, 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 la. This gets us halfway there because the person on the other side of the world will know the exact notes to sing, but there's still a lot of opportunity to get the tune wrong. La, 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 la. So let's figure out how to write down time. When looking at the staff, you want to imagine time moving from left to right, ticking along like seconds. Not exactly seconds. You could go a bit faster or a bit slower, but in the ballpark of seconds. These ticks are known as the pulse. So again, when you look at the staff, the pulse ticks away. That's a lot of ticks. To help keep track, we group the pulse into little chunks of 4 ticks or 3 ticks, 6 ticks, 2 ticks, 9 ticks, using bar lines, creating measures or bars. To tell our reader how time will be organized, we write a time signature at the front. 2 numbers are placed on top of each other like 4-4, 3-4, 6-8. The time signature tells you how many pulse beats you will find in each measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once again, the top number tells us how many pulse beats there are per bar. Groups of 4 are the most popular, so much so that sometimes they just put a little C for common time. The bottom number of the time signature tells us the note type. What do I mean by note type? Well, we're finally ready to put pitch and time together and modify our notes. We can modify our leaning ovals so that they tell us the duration of the note, or how long it lasts for. An empty oval all by itself lasts for 4 pulse beats, which is the whole measure, so it is a whole note. An oval with a line attached lasts for 2 pulse beats, so it is a half note. Now let's fill in our oval and attach a line, and we have a quarter note. Each of these represents 1 pulse beat. So the time signature is 4/4 because there are 4 quarter notes per measure. If the bottom note is 8, then it's referring to an 8th note, which is an oval with a line attached and a little flag on it. Or it can be 2 notes grouped together. Then we keep dividing the note in half by adding flags. So 2 flags gives us a 16th note, or 2 lines attaching the notes together. 3 flags gives us a 32nd note, or 3 lines attaching all the notes together. For every note there is a no note, or a rest. Because in music, making no sound is just as important as making sound. So just as there is a whole note, there is a whole rest. The half note has the equivalent half rest. Quarter rest looks like this. It's sort of a weird squiggle thing. Just like the 8th, 16th, and 32nd note, the 8th, 16th, and 32nd rest has a system of flags. 1 flag is for the 8th, 2 for 16th, and 3 for 32nd, etc. Lastly, there's a couple of ways to get fancy with time. There's dotted notes and dotted rests. If there's a dot beside it, it lasts for the regular duration plus half of its duration. And then we have triplets. For triplets, if you have 3 quarter notes, you're supposed to play those 3 in the time it would regularly take to do 2. Triplet, triplet. For triplet 8th note, same thing. 3 in the time of 2. We are finally ready. I can write down my tune. La la, la 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 la. I'm going to pick the treble clef. I'm going to put it in 4/4. That second note is kind of a big arrival, so I really want that to be the first note of the bar. Rest. Dun, 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 dun. La la, la 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 la. There it is. To make sure they do it at the right speed, I can put in a metronome marking. Quarter note equals about 66 BPMs, or beats per minute. And there's many ways I could write this out. I could double the speed and then make every note last twice as long. The person on the other side of the world could recreate it exactly as I want it. I could even write a counter melody. La 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 la. La 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 la. It's not the best melody in the world, but it's amazing that someone could find this in 300 years and recreate it perfectly, if they could still read music. And I have only scratched the surface of musical notation. I haven't talked about key areas, there's different harmonies. This is indeed a large rabbit hole. It goes deep. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and or subscribe. Also, the National Music Centre is a charity that relies on donations. So if you have the means and feel like it, please go to studiobell.ca/donate.